Hello everybody and welcome back to Crusader Kings, where we are currently working on getting all of our building slots filled up. So we've got, I think, just these two counties down here that don't currently have those under construction. Yeah, so we're going to need to get some cash for that. We can actually demand a payment from this vassal, and we definitely should do so. We can demand a payment from no one else. Okay. That looks good for the time being. That puts us at 151. So we can change this one easily enough in theory. We may want to put in something here. This will likely end up being... I'm leaning towards desert agriculture. Yeah, for the holding taxes increase. Yeah. Desert agriculture goes in here. And we now need, I believe, 5 additional holding slots. Okay, we're going to tick forward a little bit here, and we're going to make those as quickly as we can. Yes, show in this guy in his 50 gold. Very, very appreciated right now. That, of course, means we can put in quarries here. That will net us development growth, sure. Cattle pastures would also be development growth. Quarries would eventually give heavy infantry toughness. That's interesting to know. That's very interesting to know. Let's put in the quarries right now because it's cheaper. But with that in mind, we might actually want to cancel the simple pastures here. And put in quarries instead. Up over this way. Where else do we have Mubarazun stationed? These are spearmen. I don't believe we can build quarries here. So I think cattle pastures are still fine. These are, I think, the same situation here. That's in Drylands. So that should be okay. We've got Mubarazun here. We can definitely go for quarries here instead of the simple pastures. So we definitely want to do that, to bump that up. That also saves us a little bit of cash. Yes, the bloomeries are still better than going quarries here, I think. Cool. So that should be fine for the moment. We're at 111 gold right now. We would need to put in almost certainly cattle pastures here. Yes, we'll get that going. Beautiful. So cattle pastures go in here. We need something here. We need something here. And we need something here. Okay. So we just need to get ourselves some cash. That's the current goal. We can demand payment from our niece, and I suppose we will do so. We can vassalize this guy. Do it. Absolutely. Offer vassalage. No exemption. We'll just bring him on into the realm. Perfect. So that's absolutely great. We managed to get some expansion done there. We want to move out this direction anyway, eventually. For right now, I'm far more focused on getting these building slots filled. Cattle pastures here, I believe? Yeah, cattle pastures. So we'll put that in, and now this county is done. All we need at this point is this singular building slot. Magnificent. So we're going to get that. This guy's building a mud brick tower. This might actually be a weird sort of opportunity for us. We have a title revocation reason on him. He has a 76% chance of acceptance. If he declines, only he will rebel against us. Let's roll it. And he declares war. Of course he does. Okay, so he is going to head out over into Mecca. We're going to raise just our men-at-arms. And we're going to go in and eliminate him incredibly quickly. This is not a problem. All this because he built the wrong thing. Okay, so we're just going to get this fort siege down. We're at 50% war score right now. As soon as we get the war done here, then that's great. We're just going to revoke this, and we're actually going to grant it back out, not directly to this guy, but to somebody else. We don't want to hold this. Our counselor died of cancer. That's very unfortunate for him. And we'll put this guy in. Actually, that was our spy master. So who do we want as our spy master? This guy. Cool. That's actually looking pretty good. So we've got 30 days left on this siege. That's going very well. 10 days. And there we go. War is, of course, over. We'll enforce those demands and disband our troops. So this guy's currently imprisoned. Now we're going to revoke that title. There we go. And he was holding this mosque title as well. We'll grant that out. And we, at this point, want to cancel this building construction, which is going to refund the cost and give us that money. Beautiful. So from there, what are we going to put in? Blacksmiths for the holding tax increase. Or a camelry for the raw taxes. I think we'll go for blacksmiths, and then we'll grant that out. Okay, cool. So that all seems reasonably good. We can ransom off some prisoners, and we want to do so. So we'll get these all ransomed, and we'll get that cash. Magnificent. And now we have ourselves a decent amount of cash, and we're starting to finish up some of these constructions. Actually, those quarries build very quickly, don't they? So we can grab divided attention here, which allows us to get 2 additional domain limit. I want to upgrade these quarries for right now. And what do we want to revoke for our domain limit? Probably like this castle here. Sure, that'll do. So that's looking good. Someone is plotting against our knight. That's very rude. How dare they? Anything else that needs to be constructing at this moment? The abhorrent fiend indeed. Let's see. It looks like everything is currently constructing. Yes. Beautiful. So, these camelries. The camelries are light cavalry and camels. That is good right now while we have light horsemen here. But we're planning on changing that to armored horsemen, which actually means that we should change this over into quarries, believe it or not. Because that gives us station heavy cavalry toughness. Eventually. For right now, the camelry is probably better. But when we change over, we should change that as well. Do we have access? How are we doing on that? On Arched Saddle. Okay, we're nowhere near it at this point. Coinage is going to be done in about 9 months. And sure, we'll pay the Royal Court a visit. What do we have going on here? We'll not play the Puppet Master. 150 gold? Yes, thank you. We will happily take 150 gold. So we could organize a grand wedding for these guys for 550 gold. Are we planning on investing that gold into our realm outside of our personal domain right now? I think for the moment, no. We're going to have a lot of these finishing up simultaneously. We should really save up our cash. Yeah, I think that's the way that this comes down. So we finished up simple pastures in, look at this, all of these locations. 4 locations here. We're certainly going to upgrade cattle pastures here in Yanbu, and in our capital, we'll upgrade our hillside grazing lands. We also finished up bloomeries in Sufena. I believe that we have a location here that is going to need an upgrade. Yes? Okay. Wasn't meant to be indeed. So our player heir's betrothal was broken. I don't think that matters. I really don't. He seems fine. We lost a level of fame. Our dishonor comes at a cost. Okay, sure. Seems fine. So we're going to head on over to Safena here and get this blacksmith upgrading right now. Hunter's Lodges just finished up in Mecca. So we certainly need to get an upgrade going here. This is not available until windmills. Yeah, that's expected. So 61 gold. On the next month tick, we'll be able to get this going. Nothing is approaching durability 0 and might get destroyed. Okay. We'll take a look at our durabilities after we get this going. Bloomeries have now been built up over here. Okay. So now we're going to need to get that upgrading. That's 225 gold. That's going to be a decent chunk. We did just discover coinage. So what is being exposed next? Also burrs, actually. Okay. If we wanted to focus economy, which I'm not going to do here. If we wanted to focus economy, we would go Royal Prerogative and Gilman. However, I think instead we're going to go for mangonels here. Knights would also become eligible for besieger accolades. Now that's interesting. That's very interesting. There's a lot of things that we want here. So we're going to split off. We're going to go for mangonels. 14 years for burrs, 24 years for mangonels at this time. Cool. We're seeing a lot of these finish construction. So we have a lot of places to put gold right now. Speaking of gold, how are we doing on extorting subjects and selling trivial titles? Not for another 3 years. Okay. We are certainly going to upgrade our blacksmiths here. Pays 100 gold to us. I'm going to accept that, actually. We really do need that gold. We really, really do need gold. So we're going to do that, and we're going to continue to upgrade in places where we can. We're missing gold for a lot of these, and that is painful. But we want to get these maxed out relatively quickly, right? And this is absolutely fine to do. We're at 78.6 income per month right now, but we are going to die relatively soon. And when we do, problems are going to ensue. For sure. When we die, we're going to have issues. But we'll get there. We'll work our way through. We should be reasonably okay. We'll just have to create ourselves a kind of large rebellion, most likely. This guy can be vassalized, which we will absolutely do. We're very, very happy to do so, in fact. Fantastic. So that's working our way into Mesopotamia and Jazeera. We're actually pretty close to forming the Kingdom of Jazeera. We're nowhere near on the Persian Empire. But the Persian Empire is something that we want to get. Fascinating. This ransom is acceptable. We will take gold. 100%. And we certainly want to get this camelry upgrading over here. Cool. Let the trader be known to all. So, do we want to go to war anytime soon is a question that needs to be asked. And I think the answer to that is we really do need to be focused on getting all of this maxed out. I think that's the top priority right now. That will boost up our soldier quality, as well as our soldier count, and our income. It's just too good. We can't pass that up. A bunch more things just finished construction, and that's to be expected. We can get a bunch of these things upgrading, and we certainly want to. So we'll get this cattle pasture going, and we're just going to keep our cash spent down and things constructing as rapidly as we can. Now, keep in mind, these guys will upgrade these on their own when they have the money. So eventually, they'll get to them. But for now, we want to keep our money spent down. We do require a new marshal. That would be this guy. And we're not actually working on doing any faith conversions, which we should be. We certainly should be. We're going to come down over here. We should also be working on cultural conversions. No doubt about that. There's a bunch of cultures that need to be worked on. So we'll work here for both of those. Cool. We have 145 gold right now. I would love to get this shallow ore mine upgrading. We're missing 21 gold on that right now. So as soon as we get a payment, there we go. Cool. So we're certainly seeing massive improvements at this point. 50-50 on becoming a failed student? Okay. I don't really care either way, I suppose. The real question is, how long can we pull this off for? Eventually, we're going to die. And when we do, we're going to have major, major issues. No way around it. It's going to be absolutely huge issues. And we'll have to take action. Certainly. We can create titles. I don't think there's a point right now. I'm more interested in investing the cash. We do get a stewardship lifestyle perk, and I guess we'll take architect. Cool. Architect is absolutely great in this scenario, of course. I believe that will reduce our cost for our upgrades. Yes. And the amount of time they take. So that's great. We're very, very happy about that. And looking to continue to get these upgrades going. It is going to take time. This ransom is acceptable. I'm hoping to live long enough to get one more round of trivial titles and extorting subjects. That's still about 2 years out. I highly doubt we're going to survive for another round beyond that. But we'll see. I never want to see her face again. Perfect. So up over this way, we definitely don't have any additional upgrades that we can do here. All of these are going to require the Burrs innovation, I'm pretty sure. Yes, that is accurate. And we're going to start hitting those situations here pretty soon. So this reduces our men-at-arms maintenance from level 2 onward. We don't start to see the stationed toughness until the highest levels. Okay, that's going to be a ways out. First among the guard and the Tiger of Al Medina. Yeah, our accolades are fine. I'm not concerned about that. I would certainly love to upgrade our quarries here to watermills. That would be absolutely great. And in fact, we are 1 gold away from it. We are 1 gold away. I'm very sad about that. Okay, we'll get that going. Obviously, we're not keeping everything constructing constantly, right? We don't have the income for that. There's no doubt about that. And we have died. Okay. So you can instantly see here, we've got problems. As expected. We're going to put in a chancellor, a steward, a marshal, and a spy master. We knew that death was coming. This guy's actually pretty far down the avaricious tree already. So that's a good sign. We're going to need to find ourselves a relatively powerful ally. This would do the trick. So, what are we going to need to do? We're going to need to provoke these guys into rebelling against us. Because we need to get all of this territory back, right? Specifically, I think we go for Mecca. He actually has a 77% chance at this. Fascinating. Let's see how this goes. He actually just gave it back to us. Magnificent. Okay, so that is great. Now, we weren't holding these previously. We're at 4 of 8 right now. We can always hand this back out. So we need to grab these 4 here. And we wanted to hold this as well. So if we go here and we revoke this title, he'll not accept that. Let's take a look at some of these others. 0%. 0%. And 0%. None of that is shocking. So next, we would look at imprison odds. 3%. 0%. That was revoke. 0% and 0%. Okay. I'm not shocked about any of that. We can extort subjects right now. And just the fact that we got mega, apparently. This is now mega. Just the fact that we got mega and at TAFE back, that put us much, much more positive here. Now, our control is at 100. Okay. Why take a little when I can take a lot? Now we're going to get a lot of tyranny here. And factions being created against us are deeply, deeply unsurprising right now. So, I want to come down over here and upgrade this cattle pasture. We can sell trivial titles, which we will certainly do. How dare you shame me so? Okay, now let's take a look at what these factions look like. Okay. As it sits right now, I kind of want this faction to fire. More people will join, and that means that we can get an alliance with this guy. And pull him out of the faction. And we can just keep managing this faction size. But I actually want this faction to fire. Why? Well, because we've got this guy in the faction. We've got this guy in the faction. We've got this guy in the faction. And we've got this guy in the faction. So that gives us access to all 4 of these. Now, we do want to hold these. But we can take a look at how we want to do that a bit later on. We can work on, say, swaying this guy. And then we've got this guy over here that we'd need to deal with, right? We're actually his heir. We might be able to do something like this. So we would bring in this guy who can be convinced. We would bribe him. Which would bring us up to a 61% chance. That seems moderately okay. Aviaries constructed in Mecca. Cool. We would hop down here and upgrade our hunting grounds. This ransom seems reasonably acceptable. Cool. How old are we? We're 41? Okay. For now, this seems okay. I would certainly like to pull this guy out of the faction. So, it would end up being something kind of like this. Yeah. Something like that. So we pull him out of that faction, bring this back down to 115%. We would even be interested in potentially pulling this guy out of the faction. Something like that. Yeah. Cool. But I definitely do want this faction to fire. I want to fight them. I would like to see these guys potentially join the faction, but I feel like they're dealt with, in all honesty. So I don't think this is actually a problem in any meaningful way. Except that these guys are now too weak to send an ultimatum. Yes, ensure that this is held. I did not want them to be too weak to send an ultimatum. Well, now they're not. Cool. So they're working back up on that discontent. Yeah, that seems reasonably fine. So we're working on swaying this guy. which he's very angry at us. But we're working on swaying him up. And if we can't, we'll work on murdering him as well, most likely. That would be the way forward there. We're working on murdering this guy. And that seems completely okay. So 13 months here. Let them believe what they will. I do want to continue to get these upgrades rolling in, right? We're going to need to continue to do that. This is probably fine. Sure. Seems okay. I wish there was a way to provoke... Well, actually, there is a way to provoke this faction, but it would potentially bring in a lot of other people. So I think we're just going to wait and fight this faction. That'll be absolutely fine. And we're just going to look to put back together what we had here, right? We just need to take back a couple of extra locations. It's not a big deal. This is not nearly as bad of a succession as I thought it was going to be, because this guy just gave us back Mecca, which was huge. Absolutely huge. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for leaving, or rather for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Atala, Shadow Wolf, Mlohan80, Rogue Corvid, Kentogan, Andy Magar, Spartan News, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12 UK, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.